If you're over 60, there's a small, common habit that could be silently raising your risk of a stroke while you sleep. There is no warning, no pain. Just one moment you're feeling fine, and the next, you can't lift your arm, your speech is slurred, or your balance is suddenly gone. As a brain doctor, I've seen far too many older adults go through this, not because of smoking, a poor diet, or a lack of exercise, but because of something they sincerely thought was helping them. Vitamins. Yes, really, vitamins. Every day, millions of seniors take supplements, hoping to protect their bones, boost their energy, or keep their memory sharp. And while many of these do help, some, especially in high doses or when taken at the wrong time, can quietly put your brain in danger. Now, let's start with the most surprising one of all: vitamin D. What you don't know about it could turn a good night's sleep into a dangerous one. You've probably heard that it's good for your bones, your mood, and even your immune system, and all of that is true, but only in moderation. Here's something most seniors are never told. Too much vitamin D, especially when taken at night, can quietly raise your risk of a stroke. I know that sounds shocking, but I have seen it with my own patients. Take Mr. Walter, for example, a 74-year-old retired Navy vet. He was sharp, disciplined, and took his health very seriously. Every morning, like clockwork, he lined up his supplements, including a 10,000 IU vitamin D capsule he had bought over the counter. He truly believed he was protecting his bones, but what he didn't realize was that this simple routine was slowly pushing his body toward a silent disaster. One morning, his wife found him confused. He couldn't speak clearly, and his right arm hung limp. He had suffered a stroke overnight. His lab results showed dangerously high calcium levels, stiff arteries, and blood pressure that was all over the place. The culprit? Vitamin D, toxicity. You see, when you take high doses of vitamin D, especially without medical guidance, it causes calcium to build up in your bloodstream. Your body doesn't know what to do with all that extra calcium, so it deposits it into your arteries, making them stiff and narrow. As we get older, our arteries naturally lose their flexibility. Add in dehydration from sleep and a calcium spike from a nighttime dose, and you've created a perfect storm for a stroke. Many over-the-counter supplements contain far more than older adults need, with some studies showing that even 2,000 IU daily may be too much if you are not deficient. If you're taking vitamin D, it is crucial to get your blood levels checked, and always take it in the morning, not before bed. Now, if that first revelation surprised you, just wait. The next vitamin is one that many people take specifically for their heart health, but in older adults, it can lead to something even more dangerous than a blood clot, a brain bleed. Let's talk about vitamin E. It's often called the heart helper, and if you've been taking it for years, you are certainly not alone. Many people over 60 add vitamin E to their daily routine, hoping it will support their heart, improve their circulation, and maybe even boost their memory and skin health. But here is the critical part that doesn't make it onto the bottle's label. Too much vitamin E, especially when it is combined with common heart medications, can significantly increase your risk of bleeding inside the brain. Yes, even if you feel like you are doing everything right. Let me share a story that I will never forget. Mrs. Evelyn Brooks was 81, a retired librarian from Ohio. She was sharp, witty, and always had a book in her hand. She had a heart valve issue and was on warfarin, a very common blood thinner. Her doctors monitored everything closely. Her blood work was fine, and her pressure was stable. But one day, she picked up a bottle of natural vitamin E that she saw advertised in a magazine. It contained 800 IU per capsule. "I thought it would help my memory and circulation," she later told me. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the emergency room with a terrible headache, confusion, and vomiting. A brain scan revealed a hemorrhagic stroke, which is a bleed inside the brain. It wasn't because of high blood pressure or a fall, but because the combination of her prescription warfarin and the high-dose vitamin E had made her blood too thin to clot. Just one fragile vessel in her brain had given way. Here is what most people don't realize. Vitamin E, in high doses, works just like a natural anticoagulant, which means it slows down your blood's ability to clot. If you are already taking aspirin, Plavix, or any other blood thinner, and then you add high-dose vitamin E on top of that, your risk of internal bleeding quietly goes up. This is especially dangerous in the brain, where even a very small bleed can steal your speech, your memory, or your ability to walk. And get this, the recommended daily intake for older adults is just 15 milligrams, which is about 22 IU. Yet, most supplements you see on store shelves contain 200, 400, or even 1,000 IU per capsule, with no warnings and no consultations. Mrs. Evelyn survived, but she now walks with a cane, and her short-term memory was never quite the same. The truth is, not every vitamin is safe, especially when you are on heart or blood pressure medications. You must talk to your doctor before adding anything new to your routine. Now, if the idea of a brain bleed wasn't scary enough, there's another common vitamin that people take for nerve support and energy that can quietly, and sometimes permanently, damage your nerves. Let's talk about vitamin B6. You might have seen it in those bottles at the pharmacy labeled as a nerve support or brain booster formula, claiming to help with your energy, focus, or even memory. And maybe someone you trust even told you that it's good for aging nerves. But here is what most seniors are never warned about. Taking too much vitamin B6 can actually damage your nerves, sometimes for good. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold Jenkins. He was 76, a retired truck driver from Kansas who came into my office because his feet felt numb, his hands tingled, and his balance was noticeably off. At first, he thought it was just his age catching up with him. Then, he started falling. First once, then again. The third time, he hit his head on the bathroom floor. When I carefully reviewed the supplements he was taking, I spotted the issue right away. He had been taking a nerve support formula for over a year. The label said it supported brain health and circulation, but inside each tablet was 100 milligrams of vitamin B6, and he was taking 2 tablets per day. That's a staggering 200 milligrams daily, which is over 100 times the recommended safe amount for seniors. Now, here is the scary part. Unlike some vitamins that your body can flush out in your urine, B6 builds up in your system over time. In older adults, it can begin to damage the protective coating around your nerves, a bit like stripping the insulation off an electrical wire. The result is a cascade of symptoms: tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, tremors, and even confusion or memory issues. What's worse is that these symptoms tend to creep in very slowly. Many people assume it's just arthritis, a normal part of aging, or even the beginnings of dementia. But really, it could be B6 toxicity, a slow, preventable kind of nerve damage caused by a pill that was meant to help. And if it's not caught early, this damage can be permanent. Mr. Jenkins was lucky. We stopped the supplement immediately, and the damage didn't get any worse, but he still uses a cane to get around. He doesn't drive anymore. He told me, "I just wanted to protect my brain. I didn't realize I was poisoning it." Let's be perfectly clear. Vitamin B6 is important, but only in very small amounts. Older adults only need about 1 to 1 milligrams per day, and that includes what you get from your food. But many so-called brain support pills sold online or in stores contain 50, 100, or even 200 milligrams. That's not just unnecessary, it's dangerous. So, if you are taking any supplement that says nerve, brain, or energy, please check the label and know your numbers. Now, you might be thinking, at least some vitamins like vitamin A must be safe. It's just for eyesight, right? Well, not exactly. If you're like most older adults, you've probably heard that vitamin A is essential for good eyesight. Maybe you've even taken it for your immune system, your skin health, or because someone told you it helps you age gracefully. But here is what almost no one tells you, especially if you are over 60. Too much vitamin A doesn't just sit quietly in your system. It builds up over time, and it can begin to increase the pressure inside your skull, mimicking the symptoms of a stroke, damaging your vision, and even affecting your brain function. Let me tell you about Miss Dorothy Simmons. She was 79, a retired piano teacher from Oregon. She loved music, taught students from her living room, and took great pride in staying independent. But one day, she started getting persistent headaches. Then came the blurred vision, followed by dizziness and slurred speech. Her family feared the worst, a stroke. But when we ran her scans, something surprising showed up. There was no clot and no bleeding. Instead, she had elevated intracranial pressure, meaning there was too much pressure inside her brain. Her spinal fluid was backed up, and the tiny veins in her brain were under tremendous stress. The cause? Vitamin A toxicity. She had been taking a high-dose skin and eye supplement for over 5 years, which contained nearly 10,000 IU per day, every single day, without realizing the potential danger. Here's the key difference you need to understand. Vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin. That means your body stores it, in your liver, in your tissues, and even in your brain. It doesn't get flushed out easily like vitamin C or B vitamins do. And as we age, our liver function naturally slows down, so that buildup can happen even faster. When there is too much vitamin A in the body, it can lead to a condition called pseudotumor cerebri, which translates to a false brain tumor. The symptoms are terrifyingly similar to a stroke: headaches, blurred or double vision, dizziness, nausea, and even permanent vision loss or cognitive decline. The tricky part is that many standard multivitamins already contain the full recommended daily dose of vitamin A. But some people, like Miss Dorothy, unknowingly double or even triple that dose by adding separate skin, eye, or anti-aging formulas on top. The safe upper limit for seniors is roughly 20,000 hours to 3,000 Faust IU per day, and that's only if it's truly needed under medical supervision. Yet many supplements sold online contain 1,000 or 10,000 I or more. Taken daily for months or years, it's easy to see how the damage quietly builds up. Miss Dorothy is slowly recovering, but her story is a powerful reminder that natural doesn't always mean safe. Now, if you thought eyesight vitamins were risky, wait until you hear what can happen when a vitamin meant for cholesterol and heart health suddenly spikes your blood pressure. Let's talk about niacin. This is a vitamin you might have taken or been told to take for your heart. Niacin, also known as vitamin B3, is often praised as a natural way to lower cholesterol, and some doctors even prescribe it for that purpose. You will also find it included in many heart health supplements, energy drinks, and fortified cereals. But here is what is often left out of the conversation, especially for older adults. Niacin, when taken in high doses, can quietly cause serious and unpredictable swings in your blood pressure and even trigger a stroke. Let me introduce you to Mr. Frank Miller. He's 82, a retired postman from Florida. He came to see me with a strange mix of symptoms. Sudden hot flashes in his face, a pounding sensation in his chest, and dizziness that came and went every morning. His wife thought it was anxiety, and his son blamed it on his blood pressure medications. But the real cause was something no one had thought to check. Mr. Miller had been taking an over-the-counter, heart-healthy supplement. The front of the label said it supports cholesterol and circulation. The back listed 1,000 milligrams of niacin per serving, and he was taking it twice a day. That's 2,000 milligrams daily, over 60 times the amount that most seniors actually need. Here is what happens when you take niacin in such high doses. It causes your blood vessels to suddenly expand, which is why your face may flush or feel warm. But shortly after, those same vessels snap back and constrict. That sudden tightening can dramatically raise your blood pressure, put immense stress on your heart, and reduce blood flow to your brain. Over time, this dangerous yo-yo effect is like tapping a small hammer on a fragile piece of glass. Eventually, something is going to give. Mr. Miller had what's called a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, a mini-stroke. His speech slurred for about 2 minutes and then returned. He thought it was just a fluke. I had to tell him the hard truth. His daily supplement, which was meant to help his heart, was quietly harming his brain. And he is not alone. Many seniors take high-dose niacin without even realizing it. They buy flush-free or extended-release forms online, thinking it's a safer option. But even those versions can still raise blood pressure, trigger atrial fibrillation, and negatively affect blood sugar levels. Here is what you need to know. For older adults, anything above 50 milligrams of niacin per day should only be used under strict medical supervision. And if you have high blood pressure, heart rhythm issues, or are on medication, please check your labels carefully. So now that we have walked through 5 common vitamins, each with the quiet power to harm the brain, you might be asking, what should I take instead? Or, better yet, what should I eat? That is a great question, because the truth is, your body wasn't designed to run on a collection of isolated pills. It was built to thrive on real, whole, natural, and nutrient-rich food that your brain recognizes, absorbs, and uses in just the right amounts. Let me tell you about Mrs. Margaret Wilson. She's 73, a retired school principal from Arizona. When I first met her, she pulled out a drawer full of supplements: vitamin D for her bones, vitamin E for her heart, a B complex for energy, niacin for cholesterol, a multivitamin, and a few others for brain support. "I'm doing everything right, Doc," she said. But she was feeling dizzy in the mornings, her balance was off, and her blood pressure kept climbing. Something just wasn't adding up. So we did something that felt radical to her. We cleared the clutter. One by one, we took away the pills and replaced them with food. There was no magic diet and no fancy program, just simple, whole foods, eaten at the right time and in the right combinations. Here is what her new breakfast looked like. 1 boiled egg for clean, high-quality protein. Half an avocado, rich in healthy anti-inflammatory fats. A single slice of whole grain toast for slow, steady energy. A handful of blueberries, which are loaded with brain-protective antioxidants, and a glass of room-temperature water to properly hydrate her brain. Sometimes, she would add a few walnuts or almonds. That's it. There were no powders, no pills, just real, recognizable, and nourishing food. Within just a few weeks, Mrs. Wilson, or Maggie as she liked to be called, noticed a remarkable difference. Her morning dizziness faded away, her blood pressure stabilized, and her energy returned. She told me her mind felt clearer than it had in years. Here's why it worked so well. Your brain needs proper hydration, healthy fats, consistent fuel, and a wide array of micronutrients, all in their natural, balanced form. It doesn't need mega doses, it needs synergy. Some of the best foods for older adults include leafy greens like spinach and kale, which are rich in folate and antioxidants. Fatty fish like salmon or sardines, full of omega-3s to protect your brain cells. Berries for their powerful polyphenols that reduce inflammation. Nuts and seeds for their vitamin E, magnesium, and brain-healthy fats. And whole grains to keep your blood sugar stable and support healthy circulation. And remember, these foods don't just protect your brain. They support your heart, your bones, your mood, and your mobility too. You're not just eating, you are healing with every single bite. At this stage in life, every choice you make matters more. And the truth is, it's not the pills you take, but what you understand about them that truly protects you. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 simply doesn't process supplements the same way it did decades ago. Your liver may be a little slower, and your kidneys may not filter as efficiently. This means that even well-meaning habits, like taking daily vitamins, can quietly backfire if you're not careful. That's why awareness is your most powerful medicine. You don't need to fear vitamins, but you do need to respect them. Think of it this way. A single vitamin in a pill is a concentrated, isolated compound. Food, on the other hand, is a complex, beautiful synergy of nutrients that work together. Your body was designed for that synergy, not for the mega doses found in so many over-the-counter bottles. This isn't about scaring anyone. It's about making sure you have the facts so you can protect yourself and your precious independence. The power to stay safe and strong is already in your hands. It starts with 3 simple acts of respect for your body. First, read the labels. Know what you're putting into your body, and just as importantly, how much. Second, always ask your doctor or pharmacist before starting anything new, especially if you are already on medications for your heart, blood pressure, or blood sugar. They can see the whole picture and help you avoid a dangerous interaction. And third, listen to your body, especially when it whispers. That little bit of morning dizziness, that fleeting moment of numbness, those are not just signs of aging. They are messages. If any part of this video spoke to you, I invite you to tell me in the comments below. What is one change you will make, starting tomorrow? Your story and your commitment might be the very thing that inspires someone else to take that first step. If you found this helpful, please give it a like to help others find it too. And please, subscribe to Health 365 so we can keep learning, growing, and staying strong together. You are not alone on this journey, and you are never, ever too old to take back control of your health. If you found this video helpful, please remember to hit the like button. It really helps us bring you more valuable content. Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts, questions, or what topic you'd like us to cover next. We love hearing from you. Of course, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can never miss out on our latest health tips and insights. Stay informed, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next video.